We are the Nerd Eternal Network.
Hello, and welcome to Icons, Blood and Stars, here on the Nerd Eternal Network. I'm your GM for the day, Jason, and with me as usual will be Taylor playing Muckboot.
Howdy, howdy.
Curtis playing Bloodthorn.
Hola.
And Mike playing Eve, the Living Nebula.
Hi, everyone.
We are short one person today. He's got a BB with a sick stomach, so nothing to be done about that. Alright, who remembers where we left off last time?
We had just been evaded by two of the elite strike troop squad from the mysterious invaders.
Okay.
They got away on the elevators.
Yes.
I almost died.
Yeah.
You only died a little bit.
You're determined not to die quite yet. Yeah, one of them was the Gazer, who, has eye beams.
Almost had him. Almost had him.
And the other one was, it was the electrified raider who had evaded Ebe when Ebe had a momentary outburst that stunned him so badly that the electrified raider escaped Ebe's clutches. And by momentary outburst, I mean Ebe started to experience emotional. A burst of emotional rage that Ebe had never really experienced before. Not in this life, at least. But perhaps in the past life, that was a much more common
Could be.
state of mind.
And there were witnesses to this outburst.
Yes. So meanwhile, we're still in a state of siege, really, because I believe you said that we were going to pick up just like 10 minutes after.
Yes, just a little bit afterwards. Silver Shooting Star, if you recall, he had fallen through a hole in the floor where I believe it was him and Bloodthorn were chasing...
Gazer.
Yeah, the one we were calling Gazer. Gazer turned around, blasted the hole in the floor. Bloodthorn, I think, managed to jump across it without too much trouble. Silver Shooting Star almost made it, and then smacked into a piece of floor, slid down, and then dropped to the next level of the station.
He fell right into issue 5.
Right, fell out of one panel and then the next panel.
It may also be worth noting that the raiders don't seem to be just fleeing blindly. They seem to have a distinct destination as they are heading deeper into the guts of the lodge.
Yeah, they had Gazer and Electro definitely had goals and agendas we didn't know what they were. Didn't know where they were headed.
And holomaps.
Yeah, they had holomaps to guide them.
Right, they had the wrist device that had brought up. Well, you can see the blinking dot of where they were, and they were running towards something else. So anyway, Silver Shooting Star, after that nasty fall, has had to fall back to the infirmary. There's nothing life-threatening, but he needs to be checked over.
Right, he was caught without his armor, wasn't he?
Right, because y'all were giving reports. So he was running around with one of Duke's spare blaster pistol.
So we're really not going to blame Izzy having a bad tummy for him missing this game. We're just going to blame Jason's evil game mastering for making him go through last issue without his armor.
He got a determination point, didn't he?
Yeah,
He did.
you get it's when you lose your item, it's trouble. So he temporarily lost his item, so he got it. It's all within the rules of the game.
Who's to complain?
I mean, he held up fine. He's not the one that nearly died. But anyway, so he's in the infirmary. 2 of the invaders have evaded capture. You have the insectoid, I guess we'll call him, species taken prisoner. And I can't remember if the others survived. Basically, I can't remember if Muckboot killed anybody.
I thought he did.
I was told not to.
That's right. Dude or somebody had said something that they would like to take prisoners. That's right.
That's why I almost died. It's because I didn't just do the kill shot.
But you've got some prisoners.
Are we back at full stamina now, or are we where we left off?
It's only been like 10 minutes.
I should be at 0 determination, shouldn't I? Yes.
Let's see.
Well, taking trouble to
I don't.
qualities.
Recovery, page 44. I'm trying to think of how fast you heal up. I know it doesn't take too long.
On the other hand, we're really not resting, even though time has passed. We're still on high alert, so I don't know if that constitutes any amount of rest.
Oh no, there's no rational explanation for us to be healed, other than it's a comic book and it's a new issue.
All right. So unconscious characters recover conscious in 2d6 pages with 1 stamina. Thereafter, they recover the current strength level in stamina per hour, unless they use an advantage to recover the healing or regeneration powers, etc. During most adventures, the Game Master may wish to assume characters simply recover lost stamina between chapters in the adventure, since that involves less bookkeeping. I do like less bookkeeping. So go ahead and mark yourselves back up to full stamina. You've had some futuristic, the EMT showed up. You've had some futuristic first aid done. So your character, if you took a lot of stamina damage, your character still looks beat up and still feels bruised, but
Do our determination counts remain the same?
Go ahead and start yourselves back at your default. Duke gets on he's been on comms, but the various security personnel here on the lodge are sweeping the various levels. Of course, there's a lot of refugees. The lodge is much fuller than it usually is. They've temporarily shut down traffic in and out, but they can't do that for too long because they were essentially funneling a bunch of the refugees kind of through. This is kind of the processing center for a lot of the refugees. Now, Muckboot, you were outside the council chamber. What was it you were doing? You realized you couldn't catch up with anybody.
Yeah, so I was just helping the injured in the hall.
Okay, so you were helping with first aid stuff until the full EMT crew gets there.
Just, clearing out the halls, making sure everything's all right.
Okay. Most of the ambassadors and representatives have fallen back to their ships, or in some cases their quarters, and kind of forted up. Everybody reports they made it. You did not lose any of the, representatives. Ebe seems to be getting the credit for that.
Huh. Okay.
Because I believe it was Eve that stepped down off the dais in the middle of the talking, went over, spoke to the Cyclops, Zeta-None.
Is that what they're called, Cyclops?
Yeah, that's what the species is called, Cyclops. I may have revealed information early, but it's not terribly important.
Helps for note taking.
Yes, that's true. And I forget who created the Cyclops. They're public domain. Whoever created them to be public domain. If you Google the name, the stuff will come up. I just thought they were neat, so I had to use one. Anyway. So yeah, Zeta had kind of warned you. They were talking about upcoming events being kind of in flux and uncertain. And they were worried about how certain things were going to swing one way or the other. But then at the last moment, they gave Eve a warning, allowing Eve to turn around and let the room know. So the delegates were already starting to file, were starting to evacuate out when the enemy force teleported in. You see the security team show up and take the 3 captives into custody. They had to quickly strap down the insectoid member, as he was already he had already shown the ability to heal quickly. He was already healing up, but they managed to get him strapped in before he woke up. When he went unconscious, those mantis-like claws of his reverted back into his hands. And they basically put a big, think sort of like bracer. They ended big globes around big metal globes around his hands. They're confident that will stop him from being able to produce the claws.
It's an odd sort of confidence, but alright, I'll let you live your life.
And Duke gets a update just a few minutes later that they've got him, after they get him down into the hold. A couple of them have got to get some medical, little medical help. The delegates are going to stay secured where they're at until you manage to locate these last 2. Security teams are also doing a sweep of the station looking for explosives and anything like that. All the important areas of the station are getting reinforcements down there to secure them. So you all managed to meet back up. What do y'all want to do now?
We could torture our prisoners and get them to tell us the goal of the 2 that are still running free.
Eve does not think that will reveal reliable information in time. Eve suggests that we have the ability to figure out where the raiders are going, not relying on torture. I hope, at least.
Dude's like, yeah, we're not torturing prisoners.
I'll look at it as like, well, you don't have to.
We, and he's gesturing at the entire station, are not torturing prisoners.
Do we have any identification on the fourth person? The fourth intruder?
Which one are you referring to, Gaze or the electric chick?
Oh yeah, 2 got away, didn't they?
Yeah, 2 got away.
Either one.
Nothing other than both of them were of the species of those original soldiers. You know, the ones that attacked the refugee ship and the ones that you fought on the Undying Emperor's planet, whatever it was called. You know, the ones y'all basically ambushed.
Was it Amper something, wasn't it? Because
Ampersand.
Yeah, I kept on wanting to call it Ampersand.
That's honestly where I got the name from. I just changed a few letters around.
Yeah.
Did the captive raiders have any equipment, any specialized equipment on them that might give clues to what their intentions were in the lodge?
They have got some of the Dute tells you he's got some of the Star Forgers down there working on that now.
I don't suppose the lodge's internal security is sophisticated enough to track specific species.
No.
Do we have any camera?
Some of the hallways have surveillance, especially the closer you are to like this area. Well, I don't know where y'all exactly are standing. Closer to the where all the negotiation type stuff is going on, the council's chambers and stuff. But that's mostly been recently installed stuff. The lodge has had basic security, but
and we've got the lodge has extra security at critical.
Right, life support's covered. The main reactor's covered,
and any structural weak spots for the station. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming.
Yeah, and the station is designed to, even if a decent chunk got blown off, different hallways, it's designed to lock down and kind of seal that section off. So even a substantial loss of mass, the entire atmosphere won't vent out, sort of thing. But yeah, the brief report you get back is, they all had the little wrist computer holographic display things. Some of the previous guys you had captured had those too. You just hadn't seen them. They didn't use them during the fight, so you never saw it. But and the Star Forgers are working on breaking the encryption to get into those things now. Oh, excuse me. But you are notified that the insect species has woken up. He's the only one of the attackers from today that is awake yet. And they've got them all in like individual little sections so they can't communicate with each other. And they're keeping them away from the previous prisoners you brought in. Or did you bring in any? No, none of the attackers on the refugee ship lived, did they?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Muckboot executed them all.
So yeah, these may be the first.
I thought maybe one or two did, but they couldn't speak. We couldn't communicate with them. We didn't understand their language. They hadn't worked that out yet.
I think you're right. The ones that escaped the refugee ship back to their ship all wound up dying.
Yeah.
But I think a couple of the people you had downed on the refugee ship were still alive. Because Bloodthorn swords don't kill people. They just collapse. They just collapse. You know, they have no energy and they collapse. So you're right. You've got a couple of prisoners, previous ones that they're also keeping separate from the new ones.
We hadn't been able to talk to any of them because.
But remember, they've been sending you while y'all were traveling out to Amverstan. They were sending you updates on where the translation software was getting and breaking the language down. So they're confident of their ability to communicate now. You know, all the ships like universal translators, quote unquote, are being updated.
So do y'all want to talk to the insect guy?
Yeah. So, I mean, it seems like do we want to focus on interrogating or do we want to focus on? And I know we may need to do the interrogating in order to find Gazer and Electrified. But are we still in hot pursuit mode where we're just trying to find them like as soon as possible, or are we kind of like shifting into a little more mid-term type investigative phase, or is it still like a high alert emergency where everything just needs to be resolved ASAP?
Dude, let you know they've got the security staff out running around trying to find them.
Okay, so
it's pretty urgent because whatever target they were after is they're still after it.
Yeah.
But not knowing what the target is, you know.
Since security is searching for the other raiders, do we want to take this time now to speak with the insectoid?
I say we interrogate him.
Dave narrows his gem-like eyes at you. Yeah, we'll go talk to him.
Yeah, Ebe turns to Muckboot and says, Ebe requests an initial conversation.
An initial conversation between you and the insectoid?
Yes. Or perhaps we should discuss how. Perhaps we need to discuss how we want to approach the insectoid first.
I'm willing to have a discussion about what we say to it, yes. Because honestly, I cannot speak it. I do not believe any of us can speak its language.
Yeah, that's a good question. What is the state of the Starforgers translation project?
They can certainly communicate with the dominant species of the invaders,
Which is not the insectoid.
I want to say during the fight, you heard the others talking to the insectoid like it was going to understand them in their native language.
Okay.
Though all the noises it made were these kind of shrill insect-type noises.
Mm-hmm. Have we identified the species or civilization that the insectoid comes from?
You have not.
Okay.
And in fact, there's nothing in the station system that quite matches up with it. I mean, there's plenty of insectoid species, but it's like comparing all the humanoid species. There's certain similarities, but they are not familiar with this specific species, I should say.
Okay. Well, that's the only thing I could without any psychics to establish mind connections.
I've got limited.
What's that?
I've got limited. It's just not high level.
Okay. Well, that's Eve requests that maybe Does Bloodthorn share that with Yeah, actually, Ebe is basically like speaking, like thinking aloud that we don't, you know, I don't believe. Oh, Eve does not believe that any of us have the ability to. Oh wait,
I think because I've linked this before, haven't I? I thought I did. Maybe not.
Ooh,
I don't know if you linked to Ebe or not, or if that was just on
maybe not.
My understanding was that we had been basically using technology to communicate with one another.
You know, you might have before you ambush those guys. That might have been how y'all might have switchboarded. You might have switchboarded everybody together. Then I forget.
I would know this if I had caught up, if I had been caught up in my write-ups, my issue write-ups.
So anyway, y'all making y'all's way towards the holding cells as y'all having this discussion.
Yeah.
Yes. So Bloodthorn, do you have a way of reaching the insectoid's mind?
I think I might be able to crack it open.
Metaphorically?
A girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do.
At this point, Eve suspects that we may have no choice but to trust Bloodthorn lead the discussion. What does Muckboot think about letting Bloodthorn take the lead on first contact?
I find this incredibly insulting to the International Hunters League, or to the Intergalactic Hunters League.
Apologies.
That being said, I'd rather have one fight today than 3. I'm not going to stop you unless Daute wants you to stop.
And Daute will chime in with, if she's allowing us to communicate, that's fine. If she's trying to literally pry answers out of his brain in a potentially harmful manner, well, I'd want him hooked up to some kind of monitoring system first so we could make sure it wasn't doing anything too bad to him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then you understand there are limits and you are to follow them, correct?
Was that the Bloodthorn?
Yeah. That was directed towards Bloodthorn, yes.
Yeah, she'll just give him a cute, coy look.
Yeah, you couldn't see it, Tyler. Curtis just kind of threw his hands up in the air like, eh.
Ah. I guess that's the best we're going to get. We'll stop you if you go too far.
And then the elevator doors open and y'all are on the level with the holding cells. Lots of security personnel around. Of course, everybody recognizes Daute. Everybody recognizes Muckboot and Ebe.
Do we want to pretend that we captured and perhaps even killed the 2 escapees?
No, the 2 escapees escaped.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean? I'm sorry, that was in character to the. That was to the players. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah.
I thought you were going. Don't you want to skip this part? No, we don't want to skip this part.
we pretend we just killed them.
Hey, I've got an idea. We win.
Yeah. Abe proposes that suggests that since he knows a thing about the benefit of telling a tall tale here and there, that maybe it might at least start the will breaking a little earlier, if the insectoid thinks the insectoid's like, if the cause is lost and the others are dead, or at least the two others who escaped are dead. Kind of thing you see in like police interrogations on TV all the time. They're deliberately lying to shake the will of their interrogee. But
Not sure if
he will suggest that, and of course it'll be up to Bloodthorn because she'll be the one doing the head cracking.
Well, if it'll make you all feel better, I can switchboard you to allow you all to communicate with him too. I guess, couldn't I?
Yes, absolutely.
Assuming that I'm able to get through and just, I've only got power level 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm assuming that'll, as long as he's willing to, I'm not trying to hurt him or change anything, just communicating, that shouldn't be a problem unless he just wants to ignore us.
Okay. So some of the security guys step aside, open the door, you walk in. He is, the cell is basically a large, like a metal slab, metal, one piece metal floor. There is a bunk in there with him, and necessary facility sort of thing. But it's kind of like in the corner of the room, and then you have, they look like bars, but they're made of their energy kind of shimmering down. Think like a, electro or laser cage or something like that, And he is sitting, he's sitting in the middle of the floor. Try to imagine like lotus position if your knees bent the wrong way. It's the way his are supposed to be in, so, it looks a little different, but he's basically sitting there, cross-legged. Just, his knees are behind him, cross-legged sort of thing.
It just looks painful to us.
Mm-hmm. But he's sitting there like that with his hands kind of out, looks for all the world like he's meditating. And, he's still got the little bracers with the metal globes around his hands.
Are we going in the cell, or are we staying out of it, talking to him through the bars?
Outside, they don't plan on pulling the bars up. They won't interfere with speech or your abilities or anything. So.
Oh, like a Silence of the Lambs sort of thing.
Or like an old county jail lockup, just instead of metal bars, you've got energy bars that you probably don't want to touch.
Hello, Clarice.
He does crack one of his big bulbous eyes and kind of look at you as you walk in.
This would probably work better if we could touch him. No.
Dude just kind of looks at you. Now, do you actually need to touch him for this to work? Because Dude is looking at you trying to decide if you're lying.
Ooh. Should I? No, I'll be honest. I'll be like, no.
Yeah, let's just keep the bars up then.
No.
Gonna
Like,
talk to my
hello,
son.
Buggy.
Dude's like, I'm gonna have to talk to my son about his choice of friends, I think.
And I see Bloodthorn's starting off friendly.
Are you saying the bug thing verbally or?
I'll say it telepathically so that there's not a problem with translation. It'll be switchboarded.
All right, so all of you, assuming nobody is resisting, her ability. She, plugs all of y'all into a kind of a little communication network.
Here's a question: does Bloodthorn experience any kind of weirdness connecting mentally with Eve?
Nothing drastic.
Good question.
Eve's mind works differently. But a lot of aliens feel a little different. Eve would feel particularly unusual. But you're still a thinking, feeling being, so. The bug guy plugs in without any trouble. So when you go, hello, Buggy, he both eyes open, he looks directly at you. Mammalian.
So are you guys gonna pitch in? What do y'all have to say?
Does he call Bloodthorn, like, I don't know, some kind of mammalian like slur, like nipple bag or something like that?
No, she just called him Buggy. He looked up and called her mammalian.
Furball.
Oh my gosh.
I guess Eve would maybe start with introductions and just simply say, "You may refer to Eve as Eve."
Greetings, Eve. You may refer to me as Grotus.
Grotus.
Grouts. There.
I just wrote in my notes that Eve introduces Eve's-self. And that's Groutus. Did I hear that right?
Grouts.
Oh, okay.
I kind of misspoke when I said the S and then corrected.
So it's like Grouts.
Yeah, I guess it would be Grouts. Would probably be a better way to pronounce that. I totally didn't get the name off a random alien name generator.
God bless those random alien name generators that we never use.
They are useful because sometimes you sit down and you go, okay, I need an odd sounding name, but one that can actually be pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so he introduces himself.
So, Grotus, out of the survivors of your little, what do we want to call it? An attack? An invasion?
I did not give you my name because you have not given me yours.
My name is Bloodthorn.
I'm Groats. And then he turns his head towards Muckboot.
I am referred to as Muckboot.
I am referred to as Groats. Yeah, I'll get the name right eventually. Or I'll keep pronouncing it differently every time I say it. And, Dute then introduces himself. Then he looks back at Bloodthorn because she seems to be running this, interrogation. He knows what this is.
Well, of the few survivors of your little attack, you're the first to wake up. So, what we're not clear on is what your goal was.
To disrupt the Alliance here. I mean, that should be fairly obvious.
No, your specific goal of your attack. I mean, obviously the disrupting the Alliance was the long goal.
Yeah, to kill enemy delegates so they can't work together well. That pretty well sums it up. I would have thought that would be kind of self-evident. You seemed to be expecting us when we arrived. How was that?
You're a little weak on the details. And you haven't met a cosmic mind like Eve. He just, Or, no, I misspoke. I need to be more sensitive. I can't call Eve a he. Eve just knows things. But what we don't know is, your men had specific, you had mapped out goals, but we're not sure what that was. I want more details.
Mm-hmm. We all have our wants and our needs. I'm afraid I have no interest in betraying my peoples.
Well, allow me to ask one question, if you will.
Certainly.
Is this wave of confrontation you have going a want or a need situation?
Good question.
We are here as much for your good as for ours.
Can you elaborate?
We bring you joyous tidings.
Glorious purpose, perhaps.
It is time for your galaxy, rather, to be brought into our fold.
Ooh.
Usually, if you're bringing in someone to something better than what they were before, you ask.
But many times people do not understand. The less advanced do not understand. And those in power resist as they would, regardless of what would be best for their people, they do not wish to give up their power. There is going to be unpleasantness during the transition period. This cannot be helped. Many, unfortunately, will perish. On both sides of the conflict. But in the end, will be of great benefit to both of our peoples. Well, to all of our peoples. He gestured to the various different species in the room.
So do you plan to continue to explain this in grandiose terms, or will you actually get to the point of the matter at some moment?
All that exists belongs to our God, and our God has sent us here. Your galaxy is to be the next brought into the fold. Every system in ours has already, how would you put it? All the stars in our home galaxy are already in the fold. And we are sent here to wage glorious crusade to bring the rest of you into the fold.
No glory for you, I'm afraid.
There will always be casualties of war. If that is my fate, so be it. I will at least die with purpose, which is more than many.
So is this cell in a medical lab, or is it in just a room by itself?
It is pretty much in its own room. It's maybe a 30 by 30 room. 1/4 of it is kind of cornered off into this guy's cell. And then there's room inside where you could have guards stationed inside at all times. Or you could roll medical equipment over here if you needed to, or whatever else.
I'm just really curious how susceptible his species is to insecticides.
Probably like humans to rat poison. Large enough dose, I'm sure, would affect it.
I take double offense to that because I just started playing a Yosoki in the Starfinder game.
Nice. I like the setting. I'm not a super big fan of that system, but I do like the setting.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have any questions for him?
We need a way to persuade this guy to talk to us, or we're wasting our time.
He's talking to you.
Does your god have a body?
Yes.
Can you tell me where he is? I'd like to have a violent conversation with him.
That would go poorly for you.
I've killed things that called themselves gods before, child. Don't worry about it.
Oh, well, there are many things in the universe that call themselves gods.
And yours is so chicken shit it can't claim itself in front of me? It'll die like the rest. Now where is it?
Who are you that that he would waste his time on you? He is likely in the TeknoAXE system. It's the home system of the TeknoAXE. They were the first to hear his message and enter the fold.
Thessalo.
TeknoAXE. TeknoAXE. But they were the first to enter the fold, and thus they have his favor and are the dominant species in the Empire. My people came along much later, but we entered the fold willingly. So we too hold a somewhat favored position.
Has nothing to do with your convenient ability to regenerate.
Well, that is not a aspect of my species.
Oh, does he have a tattoo?
Do you ask him? You don't see one on him, but he is clothed, so.
Oh, yeah, I'll ask him if he has a tattoo.
It is a brand. To show that we are remembered. And he kind of gestures, but he can't like pull his shirt down because he's got globes over his hands.
Remembered.
I'm gonna try to mind probe him. Like I said, my telepathy's not very high level, but I don't think he's gonna give us any information willingly.
He has answered every question you've asked him.
He didn't tell us what the two escapees were after. Specifically. We know their goal is to kill delegates.
I suspect that if we're going to be successful in the interrogation, we're going to need to slap some qualities on Groats. Maybe get some free tags and maybe give us the boost we need to get to that whatever whatever difficulty is before us here. Of course, that means that this won't be a quick interrogation, and if we don't have the time for that, depending on what Gazer and Electrified are up to, that could be a problem. But I guess that's the challenge of these interrogations. If we need the information ASAP.
So you're going to ask him any more questions, or are you going to just start trying to dive into his head?
We can. What was the name of his god again? I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names.
He has not offered.
He has not. He's referred to him as his god, and maybe he may have called him a lord at some point. But
oh well, I'll ask. Tell us more about your god.
We do know where the god is likely to be located.
Right. The system began with a T. I don't remember this.
Theus. The system was Theus.
Yes. But it's probably not a system we know about. It's going to be from wherever they're from.
Yeah, whatever galaxy they were from. They're the home galaxy.
Beyond the rim.
Tell us more about your god, and can his head be mounted once Muckboot kills him?
Oh, he cannot be slain by mortal weapons. He came to us after vanquishing a great evil. These beings that he wrestled with, they were capable of injuring him, but not of defeating him. He recuperated on Theus and brought the Theslil, into his fold. And from there, they took his teachings out into the galaxy. Peacefully where possible, violently where necessary. And now our galaxy is at peace. We bring that peace to you.
I hate to be the one to inform you that peace through subjugation is simply a time bomb.
We have a galaxy back home that says it has worked. When some mere mortal ruler subjugates a people, then yes, resentment can boil for a generation. But that is not how it has worked in our galaxy. For our Emperor is eternal.
How long has this been going on?
Oh, tens of thousands of years.
Yeah, I think your fuse is just about up.
Except our empire shows no signs of decline.
Only the need to come into our galaxy.
You suffer whether you realize it or not. All the petty conflicts, all the injustices and imbalances, all of that is going to be erased.
Hold up a sword. My conflicts are not petty.
I'm sorry, did you just say imbalances will be gone, while also directly stating you have a lower position than other people inside this empire?
Yes. The imbalances I speak of are think economic. There's no poverty in our home galaxy. Everyone is seen to. My people's higher position, if that was the term I used, does not mean we live better. It means we have more responsibility.
Muckboot will just kind of pinch the bridge of his nose for a minute. I know we're not going to reach an understanding here.
That seems unlikely.
But was there ever a moment you came to discuss this with our peoples before engaging in combat and kidnapping?
Each planet we come to, we have talks first. Some of the planets respond very violently immediately. So far, all the people of this world, of this galaxy, have refused.
Remember being asked, but I'm refusing anyway.
I also don't recall being asked.
Well, we haven't gotten to you yet. The galaxy is a big place. This is a long-term project.
Your people are standing in front of me after teleporting into a station, potentially to kill people. Meaning you killed before you asked.
Oh, your people are already allying against us.
Because you killed before we were asked.
Yeah. Hey, you have to take that up with the diplomatic corps.
Where is the diplomatic corps? We can start discussions now and maybe limit the bloodshed.
If you bring me my wrist device, I can show you the coordinates. And you can see if you send a message there, they will pick it up.
I have to allow someone else to make that decision, unfortunately, but I will give that choice to them.
The dude who's been listening to this whole thing calls in, he has the device brought in. And Groats doesn't have to wear it. He tells him, hit this, that, and the other. And it just brings up the little screen like you saw those other people bring up with their map. It brings up a thing like that. It's got the coordinates and the little star map. It's a lifeless system, kind of right on the edge of where they've advanced to. And Groves tells you they've set up a relay station there, so. I should warn you that we do not recognize the larger organizations. We talk to individual planets as we arrive at them. So how much bargaining the diplomats will be willing to do with your empire this or kingdoms that, he couldn't hazard a guess. He doesn't know. He is but one of the remembered. Somewhere around here, the entire station seems to shudder.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
He's still sitting cross-legged. Oh dear, what could that be?
Just when I was about to do my mind probe, I think we're about to find out what those other two were after.
Dude is on his comm. He drops the guy's Gizmo. He's on his comm. Demanding to know what happens. The hall, or the lodge, has begun shifting in its orbit. So what the command center sends down to him. He tries to contact, engineering. Because, it's a station. It has the capability of moving around slowly. So you could adjust orbits. You can move it around in the system to some degree. But he's not getting any response from engineering. Groats is sitting there looking as smug as like a Manus man could.
I really just want to cut his head off, but
he's flattered, but he cannot accept your proposal at this moment.
Eve would like to caution Bloodthorn not to do it, because Eve still has questions for for after the immediate emergency is resolved.
I'll point my sword at Groat. It's like, this isn't over yet, Groat.
No, this is only the beginning.
I'll wink at him. We'll have our dance. We had better head to engineering.
I will pray for you. That you find your way into the fold.
Thoughts and prayers.
And he kind of sits back down into his almost meditation-looking position, which is vastly different from what you saw of him during the fight. He was all shrieking and
That's
savagery
true.
in the fight.
Yep. Yeah, I forgot about that. Well,
but Dave is running. He's heading for engineering.
actually, you know what? Before we head off to engineering, I'm going to try it anyway.
Okay.
If we've got time, I'm going to mind probe them. And the reason is, Electro Woman and Gazer were not going to the same place.
No, I don't think they were.
They may not both be in engineering. There may be another target that we need to stop if we can. So I want to see if I can figure out what those targets were.
Oh,
Mind
Toledo.
probe. And I am going to use determination to boost my probe, because I don't have it at a high level anyway.
All right. So what are you tapping?
I am the sword. So I'm going to crack his head open and find out.
All right. I believe he resists his telepathy.
With willpower, I think.
Okay. All right.
Ah.
All right. Let's see. Reading particular, deep, forgotten, or long ago memories may require a test. High degree of success. Did it say? Yes, telepathy versus willpower. All right. So what did you get on your telepathy roll?
Yeah, I got a 7.
Okay, and what is that? That is already with the plus 2.
Determination. Yes, it
Okay.
is.
So
Ouch.
versus his willpower.
Yeah, I didn't roll so good. But I tried.
He got a 9, so that beats your 7. So he's happy to communicate with you. When you try to dive deeper, he blocks.
Okay. I tried. Means we're all going to die, but hey.
We can always try again with determined effort. So
let's head to engineering.
So everybody's on a turbo lift. And off you go. Like those little pods at the drive-through bank. That's always how I picture turbo lifts.
Probably not as fun. I bet riding those pods would be awesome.
I'm surprised no one's made an amusement park ride like that. Maybe the tech doesn't scale up very well. Who knows?
Maybe not.
So you race down to engineering. As you arrive, you see clearly you see laid out security guys. Clearly, a squad of them arrived before you. And kind of into the engineering kind of room, I guess, section itself. There's little flashes of light, and you're hearing obvious electrical discharges. Again, imagine, really big bugs hitting a really big bug zapper.
That doesn't sound good. Do we see the assailant, either one of our targets?
As you step further in the room and kind of around some, a support or something, there's a wall. When you're around that wall, yes, you see the electrical woman that Eve was chasing. Basically, there's some more security guards laid out around her, and she's got the last one standing. She's got both hands on either side of his face. And then as you step around, she sees you, she lets go, and he falls back. She's floating, 2 or 3 inches off the ground.
Any sign of Gazer?
She's other than the down security guards and the workers that were supposed to be in the room, they're laid out all over the place too.
Do they all look like they have electrical burns on them?
Yes.
Okay.
Electrical burns. Some of them have that weird pattern, like if you ever seen a deer that was struck by lightning.
I have not had that pleasure.
I've only seen pictures online, but basically it's like lines running down the side of them. Almost looks like lightning burrowed up under the fur or something.
Let's make this quick.
As she sees all of you there, you especially see her eyes get kind of wide when she sees Eve again. And she starts mumbling under her breath. Just loud enough for your translation software to pick it up.
What does she say?
She's just repeating to herself that she's remembered.
Oh, right.
Muckboot, you've been in wars. You have seen this expression on people's faces. She does not expect to live through the next few minutes.
Joyful.
Good.
It's the look of a soldier just coming to terms with that. Well, this is it. Because she already knows her abilities do not seem to do anything to Eve. And he's got backup or they've got backup this time, or Eve's got backup this time. Well, she doesn't know the proper pronouns. So. Or lack of in Eve's case.
Should we roll initiative?
Are you beginning an assault? Or are you going to try to talk to her first? What is your plan?
Um, Abel say, you have an opportunity to stand down now. Hoping that she may have some residual fear from his prior emotional lapse. Maybe she might actually do that. And then actually he would also say, if you do, you may tell Eve more about your god.
See, I'm no diplomat. There are those better to tell you these things. And I will not stand down. I am remembered.
Eve will say yes in whatever the system was that Grout had mentioned.
Thea's system.
Oh, okay. Yes, and that was the same system where they originated from. Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it? No, that's where the god is. But Eve wants to mention wherever the diplomatic core is.
Oh! I got you.
Core. I'm trying to show her that we kind of know her deal, and maybe that might unrattle her enough to maybe think about surrender. That's the point of Eve mentioning the.
All right, give me a willpower roll as you're trying to play mind games with
her. Would my deception be useful at all? I don't know. Now that
yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
Because you use little bits of information you've got to kind of try to bluff.
That's true. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it occurs to me that the deception could be that Eve wants to learn more about the god, but in a way, he's kind of like double decepting because he does want to learn more. Eve does want to learn more.
He's not interested Eve's not interested in converting or anything, but the knowledge is interesting.
Yeah. So here comes my new world builder. Ah, those pesky sevens. Probably should have spent something.
Oh, that's not good at all.
No.
I'm using Roll20's dark mode, which makes the squares purple, and your 7 is purple, so I can't read it. I have to switch back. I have to switch back to the regular mode.
I should have activated full of hot air.
But she rolls a minimum and only gets a 6.
Boom.
Not a great success, but something.
I guess if you're really interested, it would be proper for me to stop and speak with you. Will your friends hold their fire as well?
Yeah, as long as the killing stops.
And you tell us where Gazer is.
Who?
Your friend with the eyes.
Oh, Jarjo. Oh, okay. I'm not sure where in the station he is. We split up right outside the initial chamber.
Right, but you know what his target was.
Well, we had a list of potential weak spots in the station we could target. I couldn't tell you which one he went to.
Crap.
I mean, it wouldn't be impossible for the security to be able to kind of anticipate what they might think the weak spots are and search accordingly.
Yeah, and they've doubled up.
Yeah, they've already doing that.
The station moves very slowly, so the engineering area where you can move the station was not thought of as being a primary target.
Is the station still listing? Like out of control?
You don't know.
Okay. Like we wouldn't be able to feel it from...
No, after the initial jolt of a sudden move, Yeah, the internal gravity, artificial gravity stuff is kicked in, so
Oh, okay.
it would have to be like rapidly changing direction to kind of throw you one way or the other.
Gotcha.
So what do you wish to know about our ruler, about our god?
How? Oh wait, yeah, good. I'm still in deep speak mode. How is it after all the atrocities your god has surely committed in the process of forcing conversion upon your people? How is it that your people have forgiven this claimed deity?
Our people thrive now like they never did before.
And what is your god's name?
Arcjin.
Can we have a spelling, please?
Arcjin. He has many titles to go along with it, but that is his name.
What did Arcjin do specifically? Like how did she phrase it? To
Bring her people into the fold?
I guess earn their forgiveness. That's how Evil put it. Earn their forgiveness.
He raised us from our primitive status. We ceased to war with one another. We ceased to value things and objects and comfort more than other people.
And so that's why you're invading our galaxy.
To bring this to you. The generations that live through the transition will be... There will be suffering. It's unavoidable. But future generations will know no such troubles.
The suffering would be brief in the galactic scale is how Abe phrases it.
Yes, that is the best way to look at it. Arcjin, he wishes to accomplish this as quickly as possible. Though not rushing so much that, that is done in a flawed manner. He wishes to bring those of all bloods together, all stars together.
And she said all stars together specifically.
All bloods together and all stars together.
Oh, okay. So that definitely catches Eve's attention. And what do the stars have to say about this?
Well, most stars don't speak.
Most, but not all. Some do.
Well, yes, there are the occasional intelligent star. And of course, there are those that birth the stars.
Does Arcjin count them amongst his? What's Arcjin's pronoun?
Yes.
Amongst followers. I mean, for all you know, Eve may not use pronouns either, really. If he doesn't use them for himself, Eve may very well not use pronouns for anyone else. Anyway, Eve poses the question.
Yes, the, what would she call the beings that create stars? Can't call them Star Forgers, that name's taken.
Mama stars?
Could be like a rough translation of the word in English.
But yes, those that nursemaid stars in our galaxy Serve Arcgen.
I'm going to put down stellar nurse mates in my notes in quotes. Very curious that they would be dissuaded. Very curious indeed.
Yes, Arcgen had to deal with them personally.
Authority, but I'm just gonna point out that stars live far away from each other for a reason.
I'm not an astronomer, okay. And it's far away by our standards, far away by their standards.
We can continue this conversation if you submit yourselves. If I guess he's got to use you, right? If you submit to, how would you phrase it? Not captivity, to sequestering. That's not a good word for me either. Whatever polite word he comes up with for imprisonment.
Eve, the living thesaurus. No, I have been given my mission. I have to complete it.
Are you saying you haven't completed your mission already?
No, I'm still alive.
Why do you have to die?
It's the nature of this mission. Well, it's the most likely outcome of this mission, let's be fair.
So your mission is done other than you dying? Or escaping, I suppose.
Well, my mission's well on its way, at the very least. And Rossi's been talking every day, and she's glancing over at the nearest monitor to her.
What does the monitor say?
Yeah, Muckboot's gonna go ahead and crack a shot.
Oh.
Alright, give me an initiative roll.
I'll go ahead and tapping the quality I'm so old. Because I can tell when someone's stalling. And I've let this stall for too long.
Alright. So you're going to give yourself a +2 on the initiative or on the shot?
On the shot.
Alright, so give me an initiative.
14 on initiative.
Do we all roll?
You can if you're going to launch an attack. You can. This is basically Muckboot. It's just kind of going for the quick draw.
Okay.
Fire from the hip real quick. And this is if she can react to it before he does, before he gets the shot off.
I suspect this may catch Eve by surprise. So maybe I'll roll initiative next page.
Okay. All right, she got a 10, so Muckboot gets to do his shot first.
All right, and this will be an attempted murder.
Ow.
15.
All right, so she resists that with her coordination. She's got aerial combat, so that gives her a bump. Ooh, minimum roll. She got a 7 to your 15.
Oh,
That's like massively dead.
Yeah.
All right, so how much damage does your shot do?
6.
All right, that's not enough to knock her down necessarily. That is, of course, a massive success, so that is a
Potential kill.
potential kill. Let me find my outcomes here. No, damage, that's what I need. Alright. So, she has to roll... You give me a d6 roll plus the damage of your attack, because she does not have any damage resistance. And she has to roll her strength.
I max rolled on the kill shot.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, her strength is not great. She does not have any qualities that would really help, so she got a 7.
This is why you don't give me characters that are allowed to kill people.
All right, so you beat her by 5, which is, I believe, a massive success. Yeah, 5 or more is massive. So reduces target's stamina to 0 and renders the target character unconscious. On the following page, each page thereafter, the character loses a level of strength. When strength falls below 0, the character dies. So yeah, you hit her center mass, she goes flying back. I mean, not like back like the Hulk punched her, but she falls back, she hits the ground, she is out. Duke, calls in security and medical. But he runs over to the monitor she kept looking at.
What's on the monitor?
Projections of the station's speed, where it's going. Some other stuff that's not in a language you recognize. Dude is like cursing under his breath. Okay, he tells you she's plotted the station. She's plotted a course for the station to take us into the nearest world. Just going to crash us through. Just through the atmosphere into the ground, splat. That was her whole plan. He goes, "We've got a little time. The station is not fast." But she seems to have installed some of her own software, which is making doing anything about it difficult. Well, it's making it not respond to any of my commands. I'm a hunter, not a hacker, so.
Then teams to the manual shutoffs for engines.
You shout that through your comm, and you get several folks get you back. I mean, a lot of the engineering staff is laid out on the floor around you, but there's still enough scattered around the station that they can take care of that.
We can get some of the larger warships to start tethering to pull it back into a correct orbit.
Dave nods. Yeah, truthfully, the few times we've had to really move the lodge anywhere, we've always gotten ships into tug it. Rudan comes over your comm, Muckboot. She was still tied into your system enough that she's caught wind of what's going on.
Yes, my spectacular scientist. What can we do?
Oh, that'd be a good title for her. The Scientist Spectacular. But she did like glitter and spark and streamers behind her every time she says it.
It's like that number from Moulin Rouge. Science Spectacular, spectacular.
I'll have to Google that or YouTube that later. But she offers to come down. Her and another couple of Star Forgers that do a lot of software work are offering to come down and see about clearing that program off the system and getting them control of the station back. And now, as this is going on, Dude starts getting reports in of other station systems that are going down. So whatever software she installed, it's clearly done more than just lock down this terminal or the terminals in the engineering. But you would know that like life support is it's kind of an independent system. So that's not likely to be affected.
And our last dude hasn't even struck yet.
Right.
He was probably just somewhere waiting for the proper time.
Probably about when all the other systems started to go down.
Yeah, sounds like it's proper o'clock.
Oh crap! A clock is just struck.
Right.
But Dave starts calling around to the other primary targets, if you will, to the other departments. Checking in. First two he checks in, they're okay. The second one, the communication's getting a little staticky, and when he tries to check in with the next one, the comms seem to be going offline. The ones that plug directly through the station. The security and medical team show up. They get the electric chick. Y'all never even asked her name, now that I think about it.
No, we did not.
But they get her loaded up on a stretcher. They, slap a med pack on her or whatever. But it took them a little while to get there, so they're not 100% sure she'll make it. Did any of you bother to do any basic first aid while y'all were waiting?
Oh, no.
I didn't figure Bloodthorn would. She just don't seem the type.
I don't shoot to kill to stop it. This is war.
Yeah, Eve would not act to prevent the dying process.
All right, so they load her anyway. They load her on a stretcher and take her off.
Let her rejoin her god or join her god, whatever.
I never really got into the specifics of that.
No, especially since it's apparently a living god.
Muckboot, Dave looks over at you. Communications are down. That other guy could be striking anywhere and we wouldn't know it.
Joyful.
Security is scattered, of course, all over the station.
Look at Muckboot's like, if I wanted to blow the shit out of this station... And
Muckboot goes, man, there's one thing trapped on this station that everybody wants. Man, if only somebody knew how to hunt on this station.
Right?
Dave does not look amused by Muckboot's.
There's the wild animal in our house, and we are a house of hunters. We are going to hunt it.
Dude just kind of sighs. Clearly, I've been in administration too long. I gotta get back out in the field.
Well, congratulations. This is field number 1.
Well, but back to my point, if I wanted to blow the shit out of the station and kill all the delegates at once, where would I go?
The main reactor. You have to disable a lot of safety protocols, but you could potentially... The reactor could potentially blow.
Safety protocols that are probably just disarming themselves because of that virus anyway.
Well, the reactor itself is an isolated system. You would have to be at the reactor to do this. You could also do things, of course, with the life support system. Truthfully, you could kill everybody with the anti-gravity if you jacked it up high enough. Or the artificial gravity, I guess. Dude looks at Muckboot. I'm going to gather a team of hunters, and we're going to go scout around we're gonna go scout around the life support. You know, I'll have another group go scouting around the gravity control. You know, if you and your team want to take the reactor, you know, one of these main systems is bound to be where our prey is going.
Shall we, Hunter Supreme?
Let us hunt.
You know, and doot heads off.
Did you hear that?
I did.
That's
The
Kelly.
cats are awake.
Yep. Yeah,
Right.
they are waking up. Yeah, Kelly's having fun with the cats.
Right on cue. It's like, yeah.
It's the Hunter Supreme's battle cry. You didn't know that?
Well, cats are Hunter Supreme.
House cats hunt a wider number of species over a wider geographical range than any other cat in the family. I watched a documentary one time, like the top, I can't remember, the top 5 or 10, you know, basically cats, you know, based on what they hunted and stuff. Yeah, house cats came in number 1. They don't hunt the biggest stuff, but they hunt the widest variety. And let's face it, half of them probably hunt and don't actually need to. It's just the joy of killing.
And my first cat, who I love dearly, I did specifically get him to hunt. I had seen a mouse in my house, and that was the end. So it's like, I need a cat.
Yes.
And he was awesome.
I had 3 adult cats that had all 3 dropped litters. You know, right around my house as I was moving in. I didn't really try to tame any of them. I fed them once a day in the morning just so that maybe they'd hang around. Yeah, I didn't have any mice until they'd all moved off and cleared out.
Right.
Like, no, stick around.
I had a cat growing up that would get into my sock drawer, bring socks out, drop it off in the foyer, and then just meow and meow and meow until someone congratulated her.
Behold what I have hunted and slain for you. It's my socks.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like such a good hunter.
That's the trick. I would want my cat to kill mice. I don't necessarily want them bringing them to me.
Right.
No.
I mean, I say that I don't have an animals inside, but yeah, that's my thing. But anyway, back to y'all's hunt. All right, so y'all load up and are heading for
the main reactor.
Yeah, the main reactor. You know, you get there, you see the wall, you see a window, you see a guy sitting at his computer terminal. You know, in kind of the security area before you get into the actual light reactor area. You know, it's almost like a foyer. But you guys back to the windows and the door.
And it's not Gazer.
No, it's one of the security guys. He's in there in the little security coat. He's got a helmet on.
Could be Gazer in a security outfit, though.
Could be. The security officers have popped collars, so you can't really, you know. You don't see any, like, you know, you don't see what color his neck is or anything. But that's what you see walking up to the door.
What was his name? Jorgo?
Oh, that's right. You mentioned
Jarjo.
Jarjo. So I'll holler out, Jarjo.
The guy you see at the security station doesn't react, doesn't respond.
We don't see anybody else.
Well, like I said, you're only seeing into the foyer area.
Oh, okay.
Then there's another set of doors that go back to the actual working area around the reactor.
Okay.
You know, you have to go through security to get in there, even during normal times.
Yeah, I guess we should approach the person and see that we're here for a security sweep.
As you walk in, still no reaction from the guy at the table or the guy at the station.
Oh, that's interesting.
Is he even moving?
Not noticeably. Maybe he fell asleep.
Yeah, he's like dead.
Acknowledgement. I'll go ahead and reach out.
You spin his little work chair around. He's wide-eyed. His chest looks like it's been crushed in slightly. I mean, not like grotesquely. I mean, but the ribs are not supposed to bend inward that much. There's a little bit of blood on his lips.
That's surgical, Drake.
It's never grotesque to have a chest,
Blech. Well, it's not like you turn him around. Oh, he's been popped like a pinata. It's nothing like that. It's nothing they couldn't show on TV, at a reasonable hour.
At least in the pinata, there's candy.
Well, it looks like we're gonna have to rush this.
Yeah, let's.
Yep.
Obviously, we'll find them on the other side of
continue
those
through
doors.
the safety measures.
You run to the next big doors, and these are like big reinforced doors. But the number pad is not wanting to respond. It just kind of squawks at you whenever you try to put in a code. And Muckboot, of course, has the codes, the high-level codes for this stuff.
Can Ebe pry the door open?
How strong is Ebe?
8.
Oh, that's right. Strength is kind of Ebe's thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the greatest at hitting people, but when he hits them, they remember it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very effective against stationary targets.
All right, let me look at the benchmarks right quick.
Heavier than a fast helicopter. We haven't had a fast helicopter reference in a while.
Because nobody's been a 5.
And there's been no helicopters.
That's true.
All right.
Maybe that's why Steve Kinson doesn't really acknowledge us much, because we keep making fun of the fast helicopter thing.
We do it with love.
Exactly.
Well,
Right,
that and the organization in the book, we do occasionally criticize that.
Yeah, that could.
We're still playing
If he does another adventure, I have some suggestions, or another edition. I mean.
All right. All right, so you're trying to pry the door open?
Yes.
All right, give me a strength roll versus the material of the door. Ooh, 13's the number you're looking to beat.
Dang it.
Because the door rolled max.
Oh, I can't punch. All right, he gave it. We're both operating. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Not quite. Well.
You can't really get a good grip on it, and it's just.
I mean, if it's not if it's not.
Can Eve make a second attempt on something like that?
If I were determined enough to catch my drift. The other thing would be, Eve could is it would this reactor would the reactor be vacuum sealed? The reactor chamber.
You don't know.
I could try going gaseous.
All right, give me a roll with your gaseous form. See if you can, find a weakness in the seals or whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna roll funky gas stuff. Fortunately I have a power specialization, so let's see what we do here. Oh, that's better.
That's considerably better. And the doors rolled considerably worse. So yes, you managed to find gaps. I mean, the door is pretty well sealed. but it wouldn't hold atmosphere indefinitely or anything. You know, there are gaps.
But no door can resist the living nebula.
Exactly. Now, what I can do in gaseous form is, certainly can't pry the door open in gaseous form, but at least I'm on the inside.
Yes, and you manage to seep through. So some of you's on the other side.
Yeah. What's going
So you
on
can
there?
see into the main chamber now. And you see this big, core thing kind of floating in the middle. It's surrounded by, force shields, but they're tinted so all the bright light inside isn't coming out and blinding everybody in the room. The generator seems to be made up of a ring of plasma, probably moving at high velocities, rotating around. But the reaction is all held in with like force shields.
Okay, that's good.
You see several guys in technical outfits, similar to the guys that were in engineering, slightly different departments, so they're like, different color, different patch on the shoulder.
Still alive?
Some of them are laid out on the ground, might be dead. Okay. There's four of them over and kind of shackled in one corner. And you see Jarjo, the guy y'all been calling Gazer, or that we've been calling Gazer. You see him working on one of the computers. He keeps glancing at the door. He heard you trying to get in, obviously. He keeps glancing at the door, and then he notices that the gas is coming through the door.
Okay. I suppose knocking out the power here would be a bad thing.
Not as bad as the reactor exploding. But yes, that would not be great for the lodge. I mean, they've got some sort of emergency power. I mean, it'd be common sense, but also, how do you shut down one of these reactors without it exploding is not something Eve would necessarily be familiar with.
Yeah, not at all.
Unless he's got the technology specially, and I'm just forgetting.
I certainly do. Yeah, Eve certainly does not.
But like I said, Jarjo sees the gas seeping through. You see, he turns around, he taps some more on the computer. Reaches into his belt and pulls out this little mask thing, unfolds a little mask thing and puts it around his mouth. Mm-hmm. And suddenly you hear the ventilation system kick on.
Oh, is this starting to suck you out?
He's beginning to evacuate gases out of the chamber, or out of the room.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
So you feel yourself being pulled up into or at least the part of you that's in that room being pulled up into the... from outside, the rest of you see Eve is suddenly moving through the door faster than he was.
Am I being forcibly ejected out of the chamber?
It's trying to.
Okay. I guess at this point I would like to just try to exert myself to pull away and get back into the suit on the other side. Not sure if I'm not sure how you gave that out, but that's what he would like to do.
All right, give me a strength roll, but without your density.
Yes, of course. Just straight up strength of 2. Oh boy. All right, let's see what happens.
Versus basically the strength of the system here, which is not designed necessarily to wrench things around at high speeds, but
right.
It's probably an anti-fire measure. If a fire broke out, they hit it.
Sure.
And it pulls enough of the air out quickly enough to help smother.
That totally makes sense.
All right, so you got a 6.
Yes. I kind of hope this happens because I think it'll be hilarious. Yep. I think it'll be hilarious for him to get flushed out of the room in gaseous form.
So yep, you get pulled all the way through the door.
Yep.
Leaving your containment suit on the other side.
Right.
Out into the room and then up into the ventilation system.
Eve's about to get purified.
So that's what. All right, so that's what the rest of y'all see on y'all's side. Muckboot and Bloodthorn. You see Eve slowly moving through the door, and then suddenly velocity picks up.
Yeah, you might think I just.
And
went
Eve's
rogue.
completely through, and the suit just drops down completely empty.
Yeah, you might think I'm just saving the day solo. Because I think before when I had communicated with Muckboot in my gaseous form, but Eve was basically like surrounding with Eve's gas the Muckboot's helmet and vibrating. When Eve is fully removed in gaseous form, I don't think there's any. I mean, certainly the comlink isn't going to do much.
No, because the comlink would be back with the suit.
Right.
Now, if Bloodthorn was looking at you, she could mind link with you even in gaseous form.
But now you're on the other side of the door.
That is correct.
And I think you need visual sight on a person.
I think so.
Let me double check just to be sure.
If we were smart, we would have mind linked before Eve poked his head through the door.
But nobody thought about it.
Nope, we did not.
It just says telepathy can read minds and transmit your thoughts to others. Oh, let's see if Great Power has anything else on. Alright. Because it seems like if you were familiar with the person and they were close by, you should be able to.
But, also taking into account the fact that Eve is not like... We've already established that Eve's thought processes are notably different than others, so it wouldn't surprise me if you were unable to attempt a mind link, given the oddness of the situation.
It wouldn't surprise me if mind linking with Eve wasn't terrifying.
Well, that would be if you dove into their memories. Just talking to them, like I said, they're unusual. A lot of aliens can be unusual. Eve more so than most. If you wanted to attempt to make a mind link, I would let you make a roll to see if you could establish contact.
I'll give it a shot.
All right, give me a roll.
I'll also look at Muckboot and it's like, so I don't suppose you can shoot the door open.
No, I don't believe I can.
All right, so give me a roll with your telepathy.
No, there's the 6 when I needed it. Where was it earlier?
All right, 7 was the number to beat. All right, so you have mind linked with Ebe.
Ebe, what's going on?
Ebe has been expunged through the ventile. Does Bloodthorn laugh?
I think she would.
Laughs at Ebe.
Ebe is now being mushed up against a
Yeah.
filter.
Not
It's
that
trying
I
to
don't-
pick him apart into individual pieces, but you know.
I appreciate the seriousness of the situation, but I'm still gonna laugh a little.
We could all be about to die, but if you gotta go with a smile.
No, hey. Oh, we gotta get this door open. He wasn't strong enough. none of us are going to be able to hotwire it. Oh, wait a second. Do you think your Starforge or scientist friend might be able to remotely hotwire the door?
We're all in contact with her.
That's right. Y'all's individual comms are linked to each other. Those are working fine.
Okay.
Because they're not directly tied to the station.
I'll message her and see if she's got access, because none of us are going to have, we didn't bring any technical characters into this science fiction setting where that would have been really useful.
Silver Shooting Star may have some tech skill. I forget exactly.
Yeah, he did, because he hacked it into the relay station a couple issues ago. Around ampersand.
Yeah, he's got technology. So you've got something of a tech guy. He just ain't with you this session. But yeah, you contact Rudan. Rudan. She's like, "What? I'm already working on something." Wait, the main reactor. I'm on my way. And you hear her telling, obviously, the other Starforges, to keep working on this. She's got to get to the reactor. A couple minutes later, she comes running in. There's like one security guy with her because she didn't know her way around the station.
Plus the whole prisoner thing.
She's still got her bracelet on, or anklet, or whatever it was.
And she has more or less proved herself too.
True. I mean, if she's planning on escaping or doing something else nefarious, this is an awfully long con.
Yeah, it'll be like the last issue. She'll sneak off to do something nefarious.
But she runs up and she starts, she pries off the door pad thing. She plugs her little computer doohickey in there and she starts working. Somebody give me a roll for Rudan.
I've been rolling crap today.
Crap, where did I put Rudan's stats? She was a modified gadgeteer, if I remember. So we'll just look up the gadgeteer stats here. Alright, so somebody give me her stats of, let's see, her intelligence is a 7 plus technology. So 8 plus a d6. And I will roll the difficulty of hacking the door. Alright, so y'all only need to beat a 7. Who wants to roll for her?
That's kind of a guarantee. Would that be a guarantee if it's 8 plus a d6?
I'll do it, damn it.
Alright.
You're right, I should have made the difficulty higher than that.
I'm glad everyone ignored the one I rolled previously.
Oh, was that?
Oh.
It still works.
That would still have given her a 9, because I...
Right.
It would work.
It was still a success.
I understated the difficulty. I should have gone higher. But anyway. I saw the one, but it didn't click with me that had just been rolled. So it takes a couple of minutes. Eve, you're still trapped in the filtration system.
Yeah, while you're hacking.
Would you like to make an escape roll? At the moment, I am considering you to be under a full hold.
Sure. So that
the lodge is grappling with you, so to speak.
And we never thought Eve would have to wrestle a full hold.
Right. Yeah, especially with so that's a prowess roll. And I'll see if the stretching is stretching is really just a power for the containment suit. I mean, technically it could apply to gaseous form, but since it's
you can spread your gaseous form out the way you want.
Yeah, but once it's caught, and I am caught.
Yeah, you are caught. So.
All right, prowess it is. Nope.
Versus the system's strength. Let's see here. Had to check the previous roll to see what strength I'd given the thing. It got a 7, so Eve is still being held.
I will suggest that, obviously our target's going to be Gazer, but if we can get Rudan to get to the system and disable the filtration system, or reverse it to let Eve go.
Okay. So while she's hacking, you have filled her in on what's going on. Eve's stacking the filtration system. We don't know what he's doing to the thing, but he's doing something to the reactor.
Does Rudan laugh?
No, she knows exactly what this guy could potentially do with the reactor. She's in that state of sort of extra calm terror.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah. That moment where, you're just tunnel vision. It's like, this is what I have to do. I'm not paying attention to anything else. I'm just gonna...
Yep. As she finishes up and the door starts to hiss open, she's like, just keep him off of me. I'll have to focus on the computer. But she slips slightly to one side, and the door springs. The door jets open.
So now we can roll initiative, I guess.
Yeah, now y'all give me a full initiative. Gazer. Because that name is stuck in my head more than his actual name. Oh yeah, but I already made his roll. I just have to add his coordination to it. Alright, so Gazer got a 9. Bloodthorn got an 8. Muckboot got a 14, because of course he did. And Ebe got a 4. And I will go ahead and roll for Rudan, even though she is not planning on being a combatant. Alright. Rudan also goes on a 9, but after Gazer. Alright, Muckboot, the door hisses open.
And I see a target.
You see a target. He has taken cover behind some equipment. Because he's not surprised. He knew y'all were going to be over there probably working on the door. So when it hisses open, he jumped behind, like I said, a big bank of computers or equipment or something. But you can see him. He's not completely hidden from sight. Clearly, he was planning to blast the first person to walk through.
Then I will ricochet a shot and kill him.
So bloodthirsty. So bloodthirsty.
This is war. I don't know how to get through to you. We are soldiers in a war.
And it's not like he isn't trying to destroy everybody, kill everyone on the station. And look what he did to poor Ebe.
Well, it's like Jason thinks that I'm a superhero character. I'm not. I'm just a guy with a gun. I just happen to only shoot bad people.
Alright, well, give me a roll.
Alright, and if this succeeds, I want to tap my quality Hunter Supreme to make sure the kill shot kills.
Alrighty.
Ooh, only a 12.
All right, so he's got a 6 coordination.
Man, I rolled 2 1s in a row. Oh, no. My initiative. Sorry. I rolled a 1, a 4, and then a 1. That's unlucky.
Yeah, you know, everybody's going to have the down. Does athletics help you dodge ranged shots?
I feel like it shouldn't help you dodge bullets, but if it does, it does.
Well, you know, superhero setting, so, you know.
Yeah.
Where is the list?
Athletics could make you agile as a cat. I don't actually think it does, but it might.
Yeah, I was trying to remember if there was something that did.
I think there's a knack that might fill that.
You may be right. And I know things like aerial combat helps you avoid any kind of... As long as you're in the air, it would help you.
Yeah, I think there's a knack that lets you prowess to defend against ranged attacks.
But all right, so he got a 6 there, plus 2 because he took cover. Oh, he misses by 1. So he takes the hit though. It's not a massive success.
Nope, he just takes the 6 damage.
Okay, he can hack that. It hurts. It hurts him a lot, but he can live. He is going to return fire. I think he's seen Muckboot in a fight. He knows Muckboot's hard to hit. But Bloodthorn's melee and a ways off, so Muckboot is the threat. So he's going to shoot at Muckboot. Alright, so a 6 was coordination. He's got the power especially with his energy blast. Oh, I forgot to add his military to his initiative, but it wouldn't make any difference. He's still below Muckboot and above everybody else. Alright, so shooting at Muckboot. Gets a 2 on the dice, so his roll is a 9. 9 is the number to beat Muckboot.
13.
Not a problem. Those two exchange fire, then Rudan ducks her head and she runs in. And she basically dives behind the nearest consoles of computers. And then, you know, she's crouched down. She just kind of reaches up and plugs her gizmo into the computer. And then she's crouched down doing all the work kind of on her. It almost looks like she's holding like a handheld console. You know, it's about that size, but it's got like, you know, 2 keypads on either side. You know, she's typing with her thumbs really quickly, looking at the screen.
We're fighting to save the galaxy, and she's playing Zelda.
Oh, please, it's at least Dr. Mario. Okay. Bloodthorn, you're next up.
I am gonna run in and charge at Gaze.
All right. The reactor room's a decent sized room, but you can still charge across the room and take a swing at him.
Okay. I will do my 2 attacks on him.
Okay.
Probably did not get him twice.
Oh, right. He's got to dodge each of those, doesn't he? All right. All right, so the first one hits him, but the second one does not. So you slide one of your little psychic blades into him, and it drains his energy for how much?
8 doesn't, but he gets to resist it, doesn't he?
Oh, right, because it's the power drain.
He can resist it with his willpower.
All right. So roll your level of power drain versus his willpower. He has mental resistance, so that helps. So you got a 13.
Yep.
He got an 11, so you beat him by 2. So nothing hinky goes on, but he does take full damage from it.
8, yes.
8. He screams and drops to the ground unconscious.
Look at Muckboot. Sorry he's not dead.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to be allowed to correct that mistake.
There are rules to war.
No one's watching.
I'm a hunter. The hunt is over.
Rudan's
I'm not a murderer. I'm a hunter.
Rudan's typing away. Things have gotten quiet. Is that good?
Yes.
Yes, the opponent's done.
Excellent. Eve, give me another check to try to get out of there. Nope. Is this the most humiliating circumstance Eve has ever found herself in?
I hope so.
At least you're not being vented directly out into space.
Yeah. Actually, I think I'd prefer that because at least I wouldn't be. It would be better than being filtered. It's probably. I mean, just imagine all the microbes and the colds and dust bunnies I'm intermingling with right now.
Being out in space, it probably should feel natural to Eve.
Right.
Not going through a filter, but maybe the filter will take away some of those bad memories.
Yeah, just filter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, filter out my prior sin.
As Rudan keeps working on the on her gizmo, trying to get the system back under control. You notice the light coming out of the reactor has changed, and the band of plasma that's circling, suspended in the force shields, is where it looked kind of smooth. It's getting kind of raggedy, and it's starting to move around, and almost like something's jostling it.
Is that bad?
You hear Rudan. Rudan glances up. Yes, that's how you know we're about to all die. If I can't stabilize it. And then she just goes quiet. You hear nothing but rapid tapping on her. And then you hear, and you see the band starts to stabilize back kind of like it was, and the light dims slightly. Back, everything seems to be shifting back to like it was.
It's gone quiet on your end. Is everything okay?
Yes, I'm a genius. You may thank me now.
Thank you, genius, for handling the genius problem.
Thank you,
shooty stabby people, for handling the shooty stabby problems.
If we handle what we're best at, we get the best solutions.
Yes, I heard an expression on Earth that teamwork makes the dream work.
I thought it on Earth.
Is that what she learned from her time on Earth?
Yeah, she thought it was terribly clever wordplay once she got the understanding of the language.
Not abduct teenagers.
Yeah, thinking about this, Muckboot would probably know the full story.
Oh yeah. Muckboot's the one that brought her back out of space.
Yeah.
But at that point, she stands up and she does She starts working on the regular console now because she's cleared out the invasive program. And a few taps, and she reverses the filtration system. And Eve gets blooped back out into the room.
I dart straight into the containment suit through the door. Oh, the door's open.
Yeah, the door's open now, so it's like shoo. And the entire time they were in there, the system was still pulling air, but it was pulling it from the entire station now, not just this room. So it was enough to hold Eve in place, but not drain atmosphere. So yeah, y'all hear Eve get spit back out of the filtration system and just dart into his containment suit. Or Eve's containment suit.
Like whatever detritus Eve dragged with Eve is, just kind of like showers through over the, I don't know, wherever the porthole is on the containment suit.
I'm just imagining Eve just back into humanoid form and then act like there was nothing to see. Like a cat that falls off of something accidentally and just gets up and just trots away like, nope, there was nothing to see here. Nothing happened.
Ventilators secured.
No enemies were hiding in the ventilation system. But a little bit later, comms come back online because once she managed to hack through, this program, she was able to send the information on how she did it to the other Star Forgers to start clearing all the station systems. Doot and some of the other hunters show up, take Jarjo into custody. Though Deed was shaking his head, we're running out of. We're gonna have to get some help from some of the delegate ships to hold some of the prisoners. This is a hunting lodge. We don't have a lot of containment cells for people.
It's a lot of wall
we don't really need that many prisoners, do we?
Dude, just
no.
He does the slow head turn towards Bloodthorn.
Oh, Muckboot also goes, I will be damned if you kill any of the things I almost died to capture for us.
Yeah, if anyone gets that honor, it's not going to be Bloodthorn.
I could have just killed them earlier and not gotten almost killed. No, we're keeping them.
Muckboot has declared them his trophies. And much like a dragon's hoard, you don't want to mess with his trophies.
I was embarrassed to capture them. I could have just killed them.
Well, I'm just saying, do you want a zoo or do you want heads, mounted on your wall?
Neither, because I'm not a psychopath.
You would be. Yeah, Deep's like, you don't take trophies of living beings. You don't hunt living beings. That's disgusting. Well, sentient beings. You're right. Sentient beings, thinking beings. Yeah, but things start to calm down a little bit. It gets around the station what y'all did, so y'all are being hailed as heroes. Not that you weren't kind of already to some degree, but lots of people walk up and thank you for what you did, throughout the day. Ebe, you've got quite a few people around you asking you exactly how things happen,
Oh, yeah. Well, Ebe will embellish certain segments of the narrative. Specifically that Ebe was absolutely disabling clearing the ventilators of hazards, and that's exactly how he puts it. And
I think we'll all agree that Eve's role was critical in preventing the reactor overload and stopping Giorgio.
Eve is very gracious. Very grateful for Bloodthorn's gracious embellishment. he basically says that he was securing hazards, not noting that hazards were dander.
Dandered in the cold virus.
Exactly.
That was a well-timed cough. Now, throughout the rest of the day, Eve, you catch glimpses of people of that one species.
Yes.
But they're always watching you at a distance.
Right. Not running away anymore.
If they think you, if you like turn to focus on one of them, they dip out of sight. It's almost like they're keeping you under observation.
Exactly. Not they seem to have recovered from the initial shock of.
It's always adults. You don't see any children. Where that first one you ran into was, I want to say was a fairly young woman. Teenagerish, I think, if I remember correctly.
I thought it was more child aged, but
you might be right. Like I said, I don't remember exactly. And I want to say the ones that saw you at the elevator might have been a mother and child.
Oh, okay.
But it's to the point that by the end of the day, you're starting to recognize. Occasionally, you're recognizing individuals that you saw earlier. So it's not like a large group of them doing this, but.
What was? Oh, there's a name for the alien race. I remember. I had the.
Yeah, I think you had figured out who they were. Sure, I've got it written down on one of mine.
It's in my issue 2 write-up, which I still haven't completed, but I know that they were named in that issue.
Yeah, but unfortunately, my notes tend to be random words written down on the paper.
Oh, sure.
And then I forget
the Annot, A-N-N-O-T.
Okay, yep, there they are. I'm just going to jot down race scared of Eve so I remember who they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they haven't. They're just watching him, but not approaching him. I think at one point, Ebe would start walking towards them just to see what they do.
They leave immediately.
Okay.
And it's always in crowded spaces where you can't really, unless you're going to do something flamboyant, stretch over the crowd or plow through the crowd,
No, nothing like that. But when he turns to them, they leave. Okay.
Right. Yeah, they're very skittish about you.
Sure.
At one point, the crowd of people talking to you, one younger fella, little furry humanoid, ask you why we should fear the Maniac Star.
Who has told? How have you heard of the Maniac Star?
He pulls up his little data pad and shows you a picture.
Okay.
It looks like it's a wall in one of the residential hallways.
Mm-hmm.
And it's graffiti on the wall. And it's literally what it says is Fear the Tyrant Sun, or the Fear the Maniac Star. And then it's got a little outline that looks like your outline next to it.
Oh, nice.
The way the kid is asking it, it's like he's taking that to be almost like a speech bubble next to a picture of you.
Are we there?
You would be free to wander around the station, so y'all could, you could be hanging out with Eve, or you could be elsewhere in the station.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I think it's time for everyone else to get in on the subplot action.
I'll be like, what's the Maniac Star? That sounds kind of fun.
I assure Ebe assures no fun is to be. The Maniac Star is no source of fun, as you had put it. So the kid asks, "Why?" Okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah, the kid asking you has seen the graffiti, saw the picture of you, and thought it was like a quote from you. So he's asking you why are we supposed to be afraid of this maniac star?
I see. Yeah. So.
Or maniac son, or whatever it's called.
I think Eve would answer truthfully and say,
Maniac star.
Yes. The star is known to have tormented at least one people in demanding tribute. Much. Actually, we haven't cleared. We haven't been clear. Have we notified anyone of what we learned during our interrogations yet? Because Eve was about to draw a comparison between the Maniac Star and the Raiders and their god, but it occurs.
Deut knows, and Deut would undoubtedly be spreading it out amongst the representatives. Nobody would have told the common folk, the common refugees yet.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, this is all in the same day, you know.
True. Yeah, I think he would. I think Eve would stop at saying that the Maniac Star has tormented at least one known people in its demands for tribute, because that is what it was demanding, right? If I recall correctly.
Yes, I believe so.
Yes.
May have been tribute in the form of worship more than like physical objects, because it's a star.
Then he might put it as in its demands for in demanding adoration is how Eve will put it. That is true. That is indeed a fearful thing.
He seems satisfied with the answer, you know.
Yeah. And does Eve recognize where that location is? Is that a location on the station, for example, like within the lodge?
It looks like a lot of the lodge walls. I mean, it's a picture of the wall, and you're like, okay, that looks like one of the walls, you know. When Eve was wandering around looking for this species, he had walked down many halls that looked like this.
Sure. Eve is Eve is suspecting that the Anat are trying to get him to confront or perhaps even admit the crimes of the Star Tyrant, of the Maniac Star. That's at least what Eve is thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how does the child react to Eve's answer?
Oh, like a little kid that's been told a spooky story. Wait, there's a star out there that was mean? You know, he kind of wants to know if it's still around, but, you know, other than
that. Eve would, having no sense of propriety, would say, murderous, in response to the characterization as being mean.
Kid kind of swallows hard. And then his mom kind of tugs it away. Oh, you know, don't let scary stories bother you. And over her shoulder, she gives Eve a mean look.
Nope.
You know, like we ain't going through enough. You gotta tell ghost stories to my kid.
That's true. But this is very troubling to Eve again. And Eve suspects that Eve may need to find out where the Anats are taking refuge aboard the lodge. Would Eve know if the Anat were amongst the refugees, or if they've been here, if they've been part of the standard, I guess, residents of the lodge since before the current crisis?
You would have to check with Eve off the top of his head. Probably wouldn't know that, but you could check with Muckboot or somebody.
Okay.
Or Deut, anybody that's got access to the system.
Yeah. Because if they are not refugees, then it might be easier to find out where they tend to where their quarters are amidst the lodge if they've been established as living here for a while. Of course, if they're among the refugees, they could be anywhere because organized still. But I think that's the next step for Eve at least.
Okay. Over the course of the next couple of days, the delegates get together. Information comes in that there is a major conflict against the fleets of the what were those guys called? The Empire of Minos has engaged the invaders in fleet battle. The invaders have finally kind of crossed over into not just space that the Minos claim on paper but don't actually have much control over, into like their actual territory. They are calling for reinforcements. And several of the other governments are sending some reinforcements, but not the amount the Minos are requesting, because they don't want to leave themselves vulnerable. The Singularity League is still kind of remaining neutral, as the invaders have not attacked any of their systems. And seem to be actively bypassing most of their systems. You know, they've extended further into the galaxy over that way, but have not actually bothered the League yet. The decision is made to clear the refugees out of the lodge. They've been using some of the surrounding worlds to temporarily house them. And the fear now is with the invaders directly targeting the little coalition they got going on here. Having the refugees in the lodge now, it just makes them a target. You know, intentional or unintentional. So they're going to move the refugee project completely off onto one of the surrounding worlds. Now, let's see. So we will pick up. We'll go ahead and wrap here. It's a few minutes early, but we'll go ahead and wrap here. When we start up next time, Ebe will, I'm sure Ebe will realize that Ebe is now under a time limit if he wants to track these people down, because they're about to move all the.
Yeah, good point.
But like I said, Muckboot or Doot, somebody could pull up the information for you.
Mm-hmm. Also, Ebe might be interested in continuing a conversation with the remaining prisoners, perhaps even on Eve's own, even though Eve doesn't speak their language yet. But that's something we can worry about next issue.
They've got translators for at least the main language.
Okay.
They've got the translation software going good for that. That's why y'all weren't having any trouble talking to the electrical chick.
Oh, that's true.
Your translation software was kicking in and fixing that through the comms.
That's right. We weren't mind linked at that point.
I don't think we even tried talking to Giorgio, did we?
I certainly didn't. I was a little.
Giorgio, no. Giorgio, it was throwing hands just as soon as they got that door open. But all right, we'll have a quick conversation with prisoners next time. Before y'all will probably find yourself sent to the front lines, but that'll be up to y'all.
We live to serve.
Well, these guys wreck everywhere. That's gonna wreck your stuff too.
So who did Minos attack the raiders, or was it the other way around? Like, who initiated?
The invaders moved into their territory and took a planet or two, and they are responding to that.
Oh, okay, so this is the counterattack. Okay.
The Minos are claiming that it was obvious, completely unprovoked, completely no communications with any planets, But like I said, we'll pick that up next time. So I hope y'all had fun. I certainly had fun. Oh, we did get a spam bot posting something in the chat. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Nothing offensive, though.
Spam bot, you're so salty.
Any of y'all want to become famous? Oh, we can buy views. Lovely.
Ooh la la.
Oh, we do have some viewers. I think we do have some actual viewers in the chat, though, so thank y'all for coming by. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly had fun running it.
I had fun. Wolfus had fun.
Fun all around.
Hopefully we'll be at full capacity next time. Zach will be back, but until then, I was your GM for the day, Jason, and with me was Taylor playing Muckboot.
See ya.
Curtis playing Bloodthorn.
Laters.
And Mike playing Eve, the Living Thesaurus.
Good night, farewell, and a bunch of other words that mean we're not going to see each other much in the next
Like, departure.
And we will see y'all next time.